Have you ever felt like life is attacking you? Unexpected tragedies strike. Heartbreaking losses tear you apart. Failures make you feel like you are being crushed, eroded, stripped of every last piece of joy and hope. You scream at the universe, "Why me? Why must I suffer this pain? What did I do wrong?" We often view pain as an enemy. We think that suffering is a sign of destruction. But imagine for a moment. What if pain is not an enemy, but a strict friend? What if the blows of fate are not meant to destroy you, but to liberate you? In the art of sculpture, there is a principle called the subtractive process. To create the statue of an angel, the artist does not add clay. He must remove the excess stone. And for the stone, that act of removal is incredibly painful. Tonight, come with me into the dusty workshop of an old artisan to listen to the silent screams and the final song of a marble stone, one that went through the hell of the chisel to find its own heaven. High on the majestic Carrara Mountains, there was a vast white marble quarry. There, lying silently among thousands of other rocks, was a massive stone slab. The slab was very proud of itself. It was huge, square, heavy, and solid. It had lain there for thousands of years, listening to the wind sing, bathing in the sunlight, and sleeping peacefully under soft layers of moss. It loved its wholeness. It loved this silence. It thought, "I am eternal. Nothing can hurt me. I am perfect because I do not change." But that peace ended on a fateful morning. An old man appeared. He had calloused hands, eyes that burned like fire, and messy white hair. It was Master Lorenzo, the greatest sculptor of the century. He wandered through the quarry, tapping his small hammer on each stone and listening to the echoing sound. Thud, thud, hollow. He shook his head. Crack, crack, fractured. He moved on. He came to the slab and tapped lightly. Cling, cling. A clear, dense sound rang out like a bell. Lorenzo's eyes lit up. He stroked the rough, mossy surface of the slab and whispered, "I have found you. You are hiding very well, but I know there is an angel sleeping inside this block, and I will wake him up." The slab did not understand what the old man was saying. It only felt a shiver. And then the workmen came. They used ropes, pulleys, and iron chains to bind the slab tight. They tore it from the Mother Earth and dragged it away. For the first time in its life, the slab felt pain. The soft moss was scraped off. Its outer shell crashed against the road. It wanted to scream, "Let me go! I want to stay here! I don't want to go anywhere!" But it was just a silent stone. The slab was taken to Lorenzo's workshop. It was a terrifying place. Stone dust filled the air. The sound of metal clashing was deafening. The floor was littered with fragments, the corpses of other stones. Lorenzo placed the slab in the center. He walked around it, drawing white chalk lines on its body. The slab trembled in its mind. What is he doing? Is he drawing a map on me? Then Lorenzo picked up a sledgehammer and a large, cold steel chisel. He took a deep breath, raising his arm high. Boom! The first blow landed like thunder. A large chunk of the slab's left shoulder shattered and fell to the ground. Agony, a pain that tore through its core. The slab felt as if it had just lost a part of its body. "Stop!" it screamed in silence. "You are breaking me! You are destroying me! What have I done wrong?" But Lorenzo did not hear. Or perhaps he heard, but he did not stop. Clang! Bam! Crack! The hammer blows rained down relentlessly, cruel, decisive, without mercy. Every blow shook the slab to its core. Every cut of the chisel felt like a violent violation. Day after day, the slab lived in hell. It looked down at the floor and saw pieces of itself scattered everywhere. That was the outer shell it was once so proud of. Those were the sharp, square corners it had loved. Now, it was distorted, jagged, and full of wounds. It hated Lorenzo. It thought he was a monster who found joy in torturing it. "Why don't you leave me alone? I was a good stone, wasn't I? Why do you want me to become something else?" One night, after a long day of being carved, the slab lay alone in the center of the workshop, aching and feeling sorry for itself. Lorenzo had not gone home to sleep. He sat on the floor, holding a bottle of wine, sweat dripping from his face, his hands trembling from holding the hammer for too long. He looked at the slab, his eyes no longer holding the sharp gaze of a worker, but filled with respect and suffering. "I know you are in pain," Lorenzo whispered to the stone. "I am in pain too. My hands are blistered, my shoulders ache. My heart tightens every time I chip away a millimeter too much." The slab was surprised. "You are in pain. You are the one holding the hammer." "Yeah, but I cannot stop," Lorenzo continued, his voice hoarse. "Because I see him. I see the magnificent statue imprisoned inside this rough rock. You are not a stone, my friend. You are a masterpiece held captive by the unnecessary." Lorenzo stood up, stroking a deep gouge on the stone's body. "My job is not to create you. You are already in there. My job is to liberate you. I must remove what is not you, so that the real you can step into the light." The slab fell silent. For the first time, its anger subsided a little. It began to wonder, is there really something inside me? Those parts being chipped away, are they truly unnecessary? Time passed. Lorenzo changed his tools. He put away the sledgehammer. Now he used smaller, finer chisels and sheets of sandpaper. The pain was no longer the shocking blows of before. It shifted to a different form: abrasion. The scratching sound of sandpaper rubbing against its skin burned. The ticking of the chisel refining small details like fingers and eyelids tickled and created intense tension. But now the slab began to feel a change. When the rough stone around the head fell away, it felt like it could see the light more clearly. When the stone around the chest was carved, it felt like it could finally breathe. When the heavy stone around the legs was removed, it felt a strange lightness, as if it were about to fly. It began to cooperate with Lorenzo. When he chiseled, it tried to stand firm, not letting cracks spread to the wrong places. When he sanded, it tried to reveal its most beautiful veins. It understood that pain is not punishment. Pain is the price of transformation. To gain a pair of wings, it had to accept losing its safe, square shape. To gain a smile, it had to accept the blade going deep into its face. It was no longer a stone slab. It was becoming something with a soul. 3 years. 3 years of dust, sweat, blood, and tears. One spring morning, Lorenzo put down his chisel. The sound of metal hitting the floor rang out, cling, signaling the end. He stepped back, covered in white dust like a snowman. He exhaled heavily, his eyes filled with tears. "It is done," he said. "Open your eyes and look at yourself." Lorenzo pulled down the cloth covering the window. Brilliant morning sunlight flooded the workshop, shining directly on the center spot. The stone slab, which was no longer a slab, looked into the large mirror opposite. It was stunned. It no longer saw the square, rough, mossy block of the past. In the mirror was an angel made of white marble, so pure it seemed to glow. His wings were spread wide, strong yet soft as real feathers. His muscles rippled with vitality. His face radiated a look of tragedy, resilience, and deep compassion. It was a beauty that made one hold their breath. It was a beauty born from a million hammer blows. The angel looked down at the pile of debris at his feet, the things he had cried over losing 3 years ago. Now he looked at that rubble and smiled. That was laziness. That was fear. That was complacency. That was the old, heavy ego. If they had not been cast away, the angel would have remained buried forever in the prison of stone. Lorenzo stepped forward, placing his hand on the cool foot of the statue. "Welcome to the world, David. You see, I didn't add anything to you. I only took away what was hiding your greatness." The statue stood there, proud and humble. It was grateful to Lorenzo, and strangely, it was grateful for the hammer, the chisel, and the rough sandpaper. It was grateful for the pain, because without the carving pain, it would still be a nameless paving stone, sleeping for 1,000 years in mediocrity. My dear friend, the story of the stone has ended, but your story is happening right now. Perhaps at this very moment, you feel like you are in the workshop of life. The hammers of fate are striking you. You lost your job? That is a hammer blow. You broke up with someone? That is a chisel cut. You face betrayal, illness, failure. Those are the sandpapers rubbing until you bleed. You are in pain. You scream, "Stop! I want peace." But remember, Lorenzo, life does not hate you. Life sees an angel sleeping inside you. The universe knows that you are stronger, more beautiful, and far greater than your current version. But for that version to step into the light, the layers of weakness, fear, dependency, and childishness must be chipped away. Pain does not come to destroy you. Pain comes to define you. Every wound is a carving stroke to create depth for your soul. Every loss is a space for you to fill with maturity. Do not ask for a life without tools, for a stone that is never carved remains a soulless stone forever. Ask for the strength to endure the creation process. Trust the sculptor, whether you call him God, the universe, or fate. When the blade touches you, do not shrink back. Stand tall. Tell yourself, "He is removing what does not belong to me. He is setting me free." And one day, when the dust settles, when the final hammer blow stops, you will look in the mirror, and you will see a masterpiece looking back at you. Thank you for listening. Wishing you a peaceful night and enough courage to face your own magnificent transformation.